Hi, everybody. We'll get started in just a moment. Hey, Mr. Beck.
Hi, Katie.
Good to see you.
Hi, Mr. Beck.
Hello.
Your lovely face. How are you?
You must be in San Francisco.
I am. I'm gonna jump off the bridge. You're gonna be my witness.
Mr. Beck, cover your ears. You are not to be a witness or cohort. Cover your ears, Mr.
I'm going. I'm going.
No, don't do it. Oh, goodness gracious.
Hello,
Right.
everybody.
Maybe not today. Maybe another day. I'll be good.
Okay.
Talk to you in a bit. I'm gonna mute myself. Who knows me making a fool of myself in front of everyone.
I miss this.
Miss Roberts, I do it all the time. It's okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So, Carla, I've made you a co-host. If you could help me admit people, that'd be awesome.
Okay, sounds good. We'll do.
Hello, families. How are you?
Trisha, how are you?
I'm doing well.
She is a hardworking woman.
I can't believe that.
My daughter just said, Mom, do you ever stop? I'm like, shh, my principal, my administration, they never stop. So I'm only half of the race with them. They never stop.
That is true. We are the Energizer Bunnies, right?
That's what I just said. Energizer bunnies. The real Playboy. Playgirl bunny.
It's funny. All right, we'll get started in just about a minute. They have a few more families coming in. And Mr. Beck, wait till you see some of the technology stuff that we're going to share today. I think you're going to be very excited.
Yay. I don't think anybody could have predicted a year like this one.
No, I 100% agree. 100% agree. But it's amazing already in just almost 2.5 weeks. We're in our third week. How far we've already come. So I'm thrilled to see how we're doing 10 weeks in, right?
Yikes.
So we'll see how that goes. Okay, well, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for attending this evening. My name is Katie Yarlett Fenty, and I'm the principal at School 23. I'd also like to introduce our assistant principal, Carla Roberts, with the San Francisco background there. So welcome.
Hi. Good evening. Welcome, everyone.
Tonight was really structured initially to be just a question and answer session for families. So our PTA officer sent out an email and notifications to gather questions that were very important to our families that we're going to answer this evening. And then also Ms. Roberts is going to be in the chat. So if more questions come up and there's time at the end, we will go through the new questions that are coming in. But before we begin, I did want to share some interesting things we're doing at School 23. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so that we can get that going. Here we go. So the first thing I wanted to share, many of you, of course, know our website, but something I thought would be really important is we are constantly updating the top portion of this website with information that's important for you to know. So for instance, the tonight's session was here and how to locate that. What's very important here is how-to videos for logging onto Chromebook and Seesaw and Google and all of those things. Also how to request a Chromebook if you have a kindergarten through 6th grade student in need of one, and a MiFi device. There are also many parent and family resources located here. So if you click any of these links, it will take you directly to that resource. So it's all right here for you if you need it. And of course, here's our website, which is just rcsdk12.org/23. That'd probably be the easiest way to get to us, but of course you can also search us on the internet. The other thing I wanted to point out, and I'm going to be sharing something really cool that we're very proud of at our school, that the teachers have been working on and our staff for several weeks, is that teachers have become quite computer and tech savvy through many trainings this summer, all the way through Superintendent's Conference Day. And one thing that they have been creating are virtual classrooms. So we have kind of taken our page with our teachers and staff, and they've each created their own classroom. So if you want to see a particular teacher or learn more about a teacher's class, you can just come in and find that teacher. It's in alphabetical order from last name, and it also says what grade they teach or what subject or what their role is in the school. For instance, physical education, we have STRING, school psychologists. But when you click on someone's page, instead of seeing written words, you're going to see a virtual classroom. And the teachers work so hard on this and they are so creative. I mean, we really are just so excited about what we have for you with this new version of technology. And so if you come into any teacher's website and you click on them, you'll get a brief biography of them along with an actual photograph so that you can really see the teacher. There are also numerous helpful links that many of the teachers and the support staff and the clerical staff have included. How to get into Google Classroom, Pear Deck. If you click here on Percy Jackson, it's a PDF file of it. Daily schedules, office hours. And in this case for Miss Grillo, if you click on the books, she even has a reading nook where you can click on any of these books and it takes you to a read aloud of the book. So there's a lot of wonderful things on each teacher's website. So I recommend you kind of tootle around and see what's there, because everyone has worked very, very hard, and we're still updating this to add in all staff members. This teachers tab will probably turn into just staff and everyone will be listed under here, but we're working on those components. So I definitely wanted to share that with you. So one more thing we did want to share with you is kind of building on this, is we know that we're not going to be able to do a traditional open house this year. And that's, as you know, one of the most important times of the year, not only a chance for you to interact and engage with the teachers and the staff and the kids to share their work and all the fun things they've done. It's just a chance to get to know our school. And in lieu of that, we've decided to create, with this new technology that we're learning, a virtual open house. And again, we're very proud of this. So I'm going to share just kind of an introduction to what we're trying to do so that you can see where we've gone, because we've gone pretty far with this. So let me come out and share. Oh, I came out of Zoom, sorry, technical glitch. Okay, so this would not come out looking like this. It would come out in present form when you click on it. As you can see, this is a very large file when it loads. There are about 97 slides in this particular open house. Now, I have to give a big shout out to Bellevue Elementary in Ohio, who shared their template with us. And then our teachers built their classrooms like I just showed you in their personal web pages. So basically for this virtual open house, which I'll show you afterwards where it will be posted on our school website, you can click on these main doors here to enter the school and find your teacher. Or you can also click on an administrator to visit her office. So this is my office, this is Miss Roberts' office. If you click on any page for any teacher, let's say you have multiple children in different grades, Once you go to a teacher's classroom, you will see that in the bottom corner on the right or the left side, there's going to be a School 23 logo. If you click on that at any time, it takes you back to this large room here, which will allow you to click on the double doors, re-enter, and find another classroom. So I'm going to click on the double doors, and you can see we have all the different grade levels represented, as well as our guidance, social work, social worker and psychology staff, our custodians, our special subject teachers. Related services would be speech language, occupational therapy, physical therapy. We have our support staff, like our paraprofessionals and teacher assistants that work with students. Our office staff, if you have questions about anything to do with attendance and transportation or anything that has to do with the logistics of school, you can click here and it will take you to their particular offices with lots of things to click on and download and view. We also have our nurse's office and our intervention teachers. So I'm just going to do one quick share with you so you can see how this works. If I were to click on grade 2, you will see that we have Miss Carlson's class and we have Miss Clayton, Miss Klotz, and Mrs. Old. This is our second grade. If you look at the front on every single anteroom for a grade level, you'll see a bookcase over here on the left. And inside are 4 activities or resources pertinent to that grade level that you can click on, and it will take you to a variety of links. Again, here's our school logo in the bottom corner, which you can click on at any time to go back to the main page. So let's say we want to go into Miss Clayton, Miss Klotz, and Miss Olp's room. If I click on them, we're in their classroom. And as you can see, we have the daily schedule, which you can click on and it will share that with you. How to get into the parent portal, how to use Seesaw, Rock Connect, how to log on. And then if you click on any of these books, it will take you to a read aloud that the students can listen to. Also, if you click on the teachers themselves, it will take you to a photograph of them and a biography so you can learn more about your child's teacher. And again, if you click our logo in the bottom left, it will take you back to the main page. So you can sit here and just click away to everywhere you need to go. I'll click on office staff since we have Miss McKinney here, our parent liaison. And if you click on her, it takes you to her office with, of course, resources and materials relevant for families. We also have Miss Stan, Miss Laura, also known as, who's in charge of attendance, transportation, student records, and filing special education material. You can click on her and go to her office. And Miss Garcia, our head secretary, who takes care of budget, purchasing, payroll, field trips, and substitutes. So I'm just going to click on Miss McKinney here, and here's her lovely office. And so if you click on any of these books, they're read alouds that are important to Miss McKinney that she'd like to share with everyone. Also, you can click on anything she has in front of her. It'll tell you a little bit about her role and what she does. And again, at any time, you can come down to our icon and click and come back to the main room. So we are super duper, 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 duper excited about this. We're so proud of ourselves. They've been working so hard for the last 4 weeks, learning how to do this. None of us have ever done anything like this before, hyperlinking things in. It's been a wonderful experience. And I'm just so proud of everybody. And we hope that as you view this, you're going to find it very, very useful. It's a great way to get to know the whole school pretty quick, just by hopping around to different rooms and different people. So this will be made available. It will be posted on our school website. It'll be posted right when that piece I showed you where right underneath the title where all the different things you could click on our website, and then there are photos underneath. We're trying to work with IT to get it right as the very first photo so you can click right on it and enter the virtual open house. So we're really excited about this. Once we know it's live, we will send an email to the PTA officers so they can then post that on the Facebook page as well as email all of you. So thank you again to the staff that are on today. Amazing job. Very well done. So parents, we hope that is useful for you. So now I'm going to start getting into the questions that were asked ahead of time, and thank you for that. And again, if time allows, we will answer any new questions that we're able to as they come in. So the first question asked was, what are the determining factors for schools reopening in person? And are there certain metrics that need to have been met to open the schools? All I can tell you is at this time, the district is working with the Monroe County Health Department, as well as Monroe County State Education Department, union leaders, school staff, and they're all trying to determine what this criteria will be. So as the superintendent stated to start the year, the first 8 weeks of this 10-week remote learning was a time for them to learn more information so that at the end of the 8 weeks, they could begin creating the criteria to determine whether we will return to school at the end of 10 weeks. So by 8 weeks in, those conversations are happening. And then of course, parents would be alerted if we are to return to hybrid learning with at least 2 weeks notice in advance to make that transition. We really don't have any insight as to where this might head. We really don't know. No one can tell us anything at this point because everything is very fluid. So again, after the 8 weeks, we'll have much more information to share with you. Are there systems that need to be in place to reopen schools? Again, yes, there will be, and certainly we will get more guidance from those various agencies in our district as to what we need to do. I will say that when we thought we were going into hybrid learning, we created a building level reopening plan, which is still posted on the district website and also on our school website, which kind of outlines what it would look like if we came back, processes, procedures in the building, how would everything work operationally. However, that may change with new guidance as it comes out regularly from the health department and state ed. So that is there if you want to peruse what would have been in a hybrid model, but that would be updated with new information if we return to a hybrid model. And of course, that would be shared with you as soon as we receive that information. And also another question was, prior to the district going fully remote, our family chose the remote option. If and when school reopens in person, will we be given the option to opt back into in-person learning? So again, I reached out to the district. They are still trying to determine that criteria. Everything to do with reopening is bundled together in these next 8 weeks while they figure out if they can reopen, and if so, what that will look like. And all of these different nuances that go with it will be addressed. And I'm sure there will be more virtual meetings held for families if that happens. And certainly the school, we will be communicating with you about that. The next question is, I know everyone is working hard to work out the kinks and perfect fully remote learning right now, but is the district and School 23 also preparing practical plans on how the schools will function if some students return to in-person learning and some remain fully remote later in the year? So again, yes, those will be things that we discuss as a district, but also individually just at our school and how that could work. I do encourage you to look at our initial building reopening plan that was posted back in August. And again, you can find that on the district website on the left side. It'll say building reopening plans. But please note that that was done in August. There will most certainly be some new guidance coming out, so tweaks will have to be made to accommodate that new guidance. What is school number 23 doing to prepare for a potential return to in-person school? For example, are you looking at ventilation and ways to move classes outdoors? Awesome question. And again, some of this is already addressed in our reopening plan, but we will always follow the guidance from the district and state ed regarding reentry into the school. I will say that our building's ventilation system is set to be updated to the MERV 13 filter system, and that is hospital grade. It's above what they require, which I believe is a MERV 9. So we have the MERV 13 filter that will be implemented in the schools to help with that, to try our best to keep a good ventilation system going if we return. We also have thought creatively, and again, this is somewhat discussed in the reopening plan from August. We are looking to create spaces both inside and outside for students and for classes to be held. In the gym, we've already marked out in preparation to have started the year hybrid, numerous areas for students to be properly spaced, to be able to sit or stand, but be able to take mask breaks with at least 12 to 16 feet distance inside the gym. We also have started to look at outside of the school in the front of the building on the grassy area opposite of the large playground. There's a lot of space there. So we are also considering, if we return, to have spots marked on the grass that are also spaced apart at least 12 feet. The safer, the better. It's a large area of space. So we could potentially, with only half of a class being in the school, if we return to hybrid, we could easily have almost 2 classes still spaced 12 feet apart outside in that space, as well as in the gym. So yes, there will be the option for teachers to sign up each day to bring their kids to any one of those 2 spaces or both in 15-minute intervals to 30-minute intervals, depending on what the guidance allows us to do, so that children have opportunities to take mask breaks, but also to jump and skip and do things like that in a confined space that's outside that allows them to move. Will the building be ready to reopen? Great question. As you probably know, we are under some serious construction right now. I will say it has slowed down, probably knowing that the schools for 10 weeks are not in session in the school building. And so they are working hard to get everything done. I will go over all the different things that you should expect if we come back to the building based on what we have had done for construction. So first, they've renovated the cafeteria. We've lost a little bit of floor space so that we could include a hot and cold food service line, which of course, if we come back in a hybrid version, kids would eat in the classroom. So that would probably not be in use until we're able to be back in the cafeteria, because food would be delivered to the classroom. So that's one piece. That's exciting. That means kids would go down the line and be able to have salad and other choices for hot and cold food. Another big lift that they're doing now is renovating our preschool classroom, which is also next to the cafeteria. They have added a bathroom, which is great because, as you know, in our school, the bathrooms are split with girls on one end and boys on the other end. So that will be super helpful for our pre-K students to have that so close at hand. We are also replacing the handicap ramp that's outside of exit 5 on the side of the building on the Milburn Street side. So that whole ramp has been completely reconstructed, including the railing, and they're also redoing the entry door once you get to the top of the ramp into the building. Also, they're renovating the main stairwell at the main entrance to the building. They're also going to be replacing the main doors to make them a little bit wider. The reason being that once you enter the main entrance, there will now be a wheelchair lift on the side to help handicapped individuals reach our main office. So that's very exciting. You'll also see some new paint jobs on the walls, lovely blue colors. So we're excited about that. We are also in the gym. We've added 2 amazing things. One is part of the construction project, and that is a wheelchair lift to the right of the stage. So instead of there being stairs on the right side of the stage, there will be a wheelchair lift. So anyone who is in a wheelchair can access the stage. The stairs will still be on the left side of the stage. But also, we were thrilled to hear that we were one of 3 schools in our district that received a large grant to have a new sound system, a whole audio-visual system put into our gym, also the auditorium. So we have a new drop-down screen. We have a large projector that's actually mounted at the back wall of the stage, projecting forward towards the audience, which will project from behind the screen through the screen. Now we don't have to worry about it hanging down from the ceiling and being tilted and whatnot, as basketballs hit it pretty regularly. We also have an amazing surround sound system now in the gym, and it's all workable through Bluetooth. So really high tech. We're super excited about this, so that when kids do return, our assemblies will be even that much more interactive and engaging get back to our lions dens. We are also getting brand new windows in every single room in the school. These windows were supposed to come with blinds mounted inside them, but those blinds are on back order, so that will be coming. But the windows, they will start putting into the building in October with the idea that they would be done by the end of October. Again, if we do come back after 10 weeks, that would be about November 14th-ish. All construction is supposed to be done by then, so fingers crossed. Also, they are renovating the principal's office. So there's a slight renovation going on in there. There's new carpet throughout the entire main office. Another big piece that those of you who live in the area have probably noticed is they have renovated our bus loop on Barrington Street. So in order to meet current code that the city has agreed to for crosswalks, they had to create an outlay. I don't know exactly what it's called, but the sidewalk now pushes out to a natural ramp that goes down for the crosswalk. So that makes our bus loop look a little different. So if that's exciting for the front of the building. On the side of the building, on the Milburn Street side, you'll notice that they added concrete in different places in between the trees, for the fact that we have numerous buses that do pull up on Milburn Street and cars that are dropping and picking off students. And when they get out of those particular vehicles, they have to step in wet grass, mud, snow. So this way they can step onto concrete that has salt on it if it's the winter, and is a much more stable place to access the main sidewalk. So we're really excited about that as well. The other piece is they fixed the lights that were on Milburn Street right outside of the school. They had been broken for a few years, the electricity, the electrical wiring. So when they dug up the parking lot to make sure that they could get those wires, and that really helped with what they were doing on Milburn Street with the other construction. So it was good to get everything kind of done at once. In addition, we've added security cameras to our 2 stairwells at exits 2 and 5 in the building. As that was the one area that we did not have access to. So now we'll have access to every area in the school. They also adjusted current security cameras, so we have maximum views of every area of the school for safety. Something that's near and dear to all of the neighbors in the area is that the cupola on top of the building is being restored, and they also restored the original wind vane for the school that sits atop that. So that's really exciting. It'll bring back some of the original character of the building. So that's where we are with what's happening in our school. And of course, their goal is to be done on time, and we will continue to hope and pray that that is exactly what happens. The next question was, is there any way to decrease or eliminate screen time for gym? This would be a great time to get students off screens and outside being active. Can there be an alternate option for gym for students who want the screen break to be active on their own? Maybe a gym log where students can log their active time. Yes, we are actually looking to move towards that. The first few weeks of school, we really wanted things to be consistent for the kids and getting comfortable with the technology, how to navigate in and out of break rooms, how to click on different classroom Zoom links to join, getting them used to what that will look like when they're in the room with the instruction, and making sure kids understand the directions until they kind of get into a rhythm. But yes, Mr. Greer and I are working on that, as a matter of fact, because all of our specials are asynchronous and synchronous, online and offline. So we're looking at ways we could structure the 45-minute block to maybe do a 5-minute mini lesson. Kids go off for 20, 25 minutes to do that activity inside or outside or in whatever capacity, and come back and share. Or it may be a completely asynchronous time. We're looking to figure out how we can make that work. So yes, we are right there with you. Certainly the more time kids can be active, the better. Another question was, can kids miss a day's synchronous Zoom time as long as they complete all assignments by the end of the week? Messaging from the RCSD parent Zoom calls prior to the start of the school year suggested that kids could miss those synchronous times if needed, and that they could complete the work later on. The thing with this, guys, and I did reach out to the district for clarification, It is expected that students are in school for both synchronous and asynchronous learning on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, knowing that Wednesday is the flex day. Students are offline all day. Teachers do have office hours if kids need support with independent work, but that is a day certainly you can use to do other things. But no, students are expected to be in school. What the superintendent was referring to with the remote learning and asynchronous work, that's to accommodate the fact that, and we've seen this already in the first 3 weeks, technology issues where a student is unable to get into synchronous learning. Different things that are happening once kids are in, little glitches that we're dealing with, students that are sick, not having Wi-Fi, so internet is down. There's a lot of different doctor's appointments. There's a variety of reasons a student may miss a synchronous time. So there is some flexibility there for when those moments occur that you don't have to worry if the child's not in that async or that synchronous block, because they can make that work up and submit it and still be counted as present asynchronous instead of present synchronous. But at no time does that mean that kids can just skip an entire day of synchronous and asynchronous learning on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Are teachers receiving ongoing professional development to continue to develop their skills in remote education? Yes, they are. Already you saw a great example of that with the open house, the virtual open house, and the virtual classrooms they're creating. But they have on their own, just on their own, attended so many workshops just in the month of August and late July on how to set up Google Classrooms, how to do choice boards in Google Classroom or in Seesaw, how to do more engaging activities for students, different platforms, how to create choice boards. These are all things that they have actively been pursuing even without it being required by the district. So I'm very proud of what they are trying to do, and they're learning as they go. We've already seen some amazing things happening already, and we'll continue that every week. On Wednesdays, while your children are offline doing asynchronous learning, our teachers are following a separate schedule, the same hours of the day, but 1 hour of that time is for committee meetings that we may have. That's incorporated, that hour, in a 2-hour professional planning time that teachers have to grade assignments, to plan for the next few days or the next week, things like that. So they have a really great time to do that. They also have an hour of an academic grade level meeting where they can work with the colleagues across their grade level and support staff to talk about the kids and how they can make things more engaging and work together. So that's really great. But also every Wednesday there is, on top of the 2-hour virtual office hours, there is 1 hour at the very end of the day where we do a professional development session with the entire staff. And it's based on our school comprehensive education plan, or you'll hear it called the SET plan, which our school-based planning team created and approved in July. So that is posted on our school website. You just have to go to the tab that says school-based planning team, and you'll see the minutes from all of our meetings there. So at that time, we look at what's incorporated in that SEP plan to determine what the professional development will be. On Soups Day, we had hours of technology PDs to help our teachers kind of navigate and find new ways to work in these different platforms. The next question is, has there been a drop in enrollment? If so, how much of a decline has there been? We have had a few students withdraw from school number 23, but a majority were due to students moving out of state or out of district. And we have been getting numerous increases in enrollment from other students coming from out of state and out of district or even in district. So our numbers have been relatively steady. There's just been kind of a crossover in kids disenrolling or withdrawing and those enrolling. What are you doing to reach students who are still enrolled but have not yet engaged or under-engaged in school activities, and how can the PTA support this process? That's a great question. We have a very particular process we're using in our building. Each day, our teachers let us know who has not been able to join the class that morning. And we have a team, our social emotional support team, and our family support team that then reaches out to families. We're finding a lot of times it's a technology issue. I think our entire office staff is now well-versed, can walk a parent blind through what they should be doing on the Chromebook or how to best connect to the internet. So we have a team that connects with those families as soon as possible so that we can start finding out what we can do to support them to make sure their child can engage. And that's been wonderful. We're getting to know a lot of parents this way, especially as we're helping them with the technology issues. We are also picking up and delivering technology where needed as MiFis and Chromebooks are coming to the school. We're also helping parents with returning Chromebooks that are broken. So we're doing what we can to really help our families to make sure they can maximize their child's engagement. PTA and everyone involved, I mean, certainly we'd love to work with you to discuss more options, like how can we motivate our School 23 community as a whole and work together? What are some ways that we can do that? We'd love to brainstorm with you further. So we look forward to those discussions. The next question was, communication is especially important during this time. Would you please consider sending regular communications to all parents? Absolutely. We are planning to start sending out a monthly newsletter to families starting in October each month. But we would love your feedback. What is it that you would like? How often would you like communication? What would you like included in that communication? Any ideas or things you would like to see included? We'd appreciate if you could email the PTA and let them know so they can compile those. And that will really help us make sure that our communication is aligned to your needs. Because we don't want it to be something that just gets thrown in the trash, right? Because it doesn't really apply to what you're looking for. So yes, absolutely. We would love to be more communicative, and your feedback will be essential in helping make that work for you. Another question was, have any teachers and or staff been affected by the recent budget cuts? At this time, our staffing is stable. There was one displacement of a paraprofessional in the summer, but she is now back. So really, honestly, we are currently at exactly where we were. So we're very blessed. We're very fortunate that it did not impact our school this time around, at least at this point. Is there any way paper-based activities can be utilized with more frequency for kindergarteners and first graders, with photos being taken and uploaded to Seesaw using the Chromebooks? It has been painful to have to watch our 5- and 6-year-old complete tracing and shading activities using a trackpad and mouse. Totally understood. Kindergarten and first grade teachers, we discussed this before the year began. Particularly, I'll start with kindergarten. We thought that the touchpads might be a little difficult for our 5-year-olds and late 4-year-olds to navigate initially. So we did, our PTA and Mr. Beck, thank you very much, purchased mice for each kindergartner to use to help navigate using a Chromebook. And with that, there were a lot of activities in the first week of school that required kids to use their mouse or the touchpad to do tracing, drawing, and maneuvering around, just so they could get comfortable with using that. So they could see that there were different options to use with their Chromebook. And so, yes, we've kind of, now that kids are getting in the swing of things with that, we're working towards other things. At any time, parents can absolutely print out any of the assignments uploaded in Seesaw, complete them on paper and take a picture. You can even take a picture using Seesaw, so you don't have to take it with your phone and then email it if you don't want to. I will say that all of the skills activities for kindergarten are on paper, and those are in the little binders and whatnot that the children got in their remote learning bins, handwriting activities and things like that. So those are paper and pencil. And then also teachers are giving students the option to draw something using their mouse or their touchpad, or they have the option to do it on paper, or they have the option to just turn on their microphone and explain what they did. So they're trying to be real creative with different ways kids can show their work. Also, every day, children are 15 to 20 minutes of counting using manipulatives, those hands-on little blocks and Unifix cubes and things like that. just to kind of help them do more hands-on learning. And also our teachers from the walkthroughs that Carla and I have been doing, Ms. Roberts and I, we're seeing our teachers incorporate a lot of movement breaks, particularly at the youngest grade levels, songs, things like that, to get kids moving, because we understand kids can't sit for long periods of time and stare at a screen. So we're trying to find ways to do that. So we're incorporating breaks that really are breaks, but it's educational breaks. So they're singing a counting song while they're doing hand movements and things and standing up. So yes, certainly that is possible. And you can reach out to your individual teachers to ask them about those other opportunities for ways to show work. The next question was, is it possible for schedules to be arranged so that families with multiple students can have lunch at the same time? It's difficult with remote learning to have each child's lunch ready at different times, especially if they want to go out for a walk or a bike ride. I understand, absolutely. But I will say that our school and all schools are required to abide by the guidance the district has sent out. We have to stick to our current master schedule because there's so many factors that go into building it. We have to take into account support staff schedules for students at different grade levels. That includes English as a second language, speech language, occupational and physical therapy, resource, consultant teacher, counseling, intervention, and enrichment. We also have to take into account special subjects and electives like chorus, band, and strings. And we have to ensure that all those blocks are scaffolded to accommodate all the different grade levels throughout the day with the time allotments the district has set. That must be in these 90-minute blocks, but split up in certain ways. So this was all decided with the district and the union leaders. And so our school is following their guidance as is. But again, feel free to use those asynchronous times that are built within the day. If there's a natural connection between another child's lunchtime, this kid's asynchronous time, this kid's break time, you know, certainly you can try to coordinate common lunch times then if needed. Another question was, I'd love a little clarification on the role that parents should be playing in discipline and classroom management. I'm trying to help my son's frustration with this new learning environment, and it's difficult to blame him when he doesn't want to participate. With the above said, I have truly appreciated Mrs. Hesford's passion and preparation for this new learning environment. She has been amazing. And when I speak to other parents in our CSD, they have horror stories compared to our experiences so far. She's done an amazing job and want that known. Well, I'm sure she appreciates that. I will make sure she sees that. And we do appreciate all of the support you as families have given our teachers and our children, your children, our students. We know what a challenge it is, especially with our younger babies, to engage in such full remote learning. It's just, this is so different. And certainly we understand as educators the developmental levels of kids at different ages. So teachers are trying to take that into account. They're trying to set up rituals and routines and procedures and expectations for learning. So these first few weeks have been really a lot about how kids log in, how they transition from one activity to another. How do you work in a remote learning environment? Are you muted? When do you unmute? What materials should you have out? There's just, these first few weeks are a lot of relationship building and trying to teach these procedures to help students. We know with this, some of our kids at all grade levels, it's harder for them to engage in this environment. And so the teachers are trying a variety of options to help the students to be able to engage. And certainly if teachers have exhausted every effort, they will reach out to the families to ask for some support, to, you know, reminders that you can give your child. We certainly can't expect you to sit with your child all day. But, you know, we want to work as a team with you, because this is different for all of us. You also have your own things going on with your own jobs and work and things in the home. So we're really trying to set up these routines and procedures so that we'll see a noted decline in that lack of engagement. And also developmentally, we understand that 5, 6, 7, 8-year-olds, I mean, where kids start at the beginning of the year with their attention span and their ability to engage and you know, in that instruction, it's very different by the end of the year, right? It is a process. So We will continue to work with you. Certainly, we're not expecting you to be a disciplinarian for your child and whatnot. We're just trying to figure out, is it something that you on your end noticed is preventing the child from engaging, or is it something the teacher needs to do? So we're trying to figure out that balance with you, and your feedback will be essential to the teachers. Another question was, I've spoken to parents with kids at other schools in the RCSD using separate Zoom meetings for each specials classes. And I've heard nothing but terrible things about the process and its effectiveness. Is there a reason when we'll be moving to that process, and is there any plan in case it's ineffective? So yes, since special subject teachers are co-hosts when they enter a teacher's classroom in Zoom, they do not have the same controls that the classroom teacher as the host does. They don't have the ability to mute students, and they can't put them in breakout rooms. Students are also able to freely share their screens with a co-host that doesn't have that control. So we're trying to, prevent any potential problems with kids sharing screens. We've also had incidents where students who didn't click join to enter the breakout room were stuck in the waiting room. But a teacher who is the host has control over these factors. So by allowing our specials teachers to have their own Zoom classroom, they have all of these controls. And so we found within the first few weeks, it was difficult to get all of these things to happen seamlessly. And so our school-based planning team met, which has parent participants on it, last Wednesday, and we talked about these issues and what the best situation and step would be. And we decided and approved to have specials teachers create their own Zoom classroom links going forward. Of course, this is going to be a learning process, and the kids are not going to get it right away. But again, practice makes perfect, right? We expect that that will start to happen. And so it'll become easier and easier, we hope, over time. Again, like any routine, it just takes that repetition to make it stick. I'll tell you, we have already seen so much growth in 2.5 weeks with our students and their computer literacy. It blows my mind. They're amazing, all grade levels. And we do thank you, because we know this is a process and it's confusing and frustrating, but there are so many rewarding moments too. And again, we couldn't do any of this without your participation. So thank you so much. It's made all the difference. And I do think a couple weeks from now, we're going to be in a very different place than we are even now, having already grown so far in 2.5 weeks. The last question that was submitted ahead of time is, will house points be awarded this year? We are working on that right now. As a matter of fact, we have 4 shared governance committees that all have representatives on our school-based planning team, including our parent representatives. Those teams are rigorous academics, building relationships, community excellence, and equity and student engagement. It's our Community Excellence Committee that is in charge of activities that build that positive school climate for students, staff, and families. That does include our house system, our house points, our house days, and our Lion's Den, attendance awards, other incentives, gold, silver, you name it. That team, all these teams will be meeting for the first time next Wednesday. On our Wednesday, in that morning meeting, they meet monthly, and they're going to create a plan for how this can look in both a remote and a hybrid learning environment, just in case. And then once we have that plan in place, it will be communicated to you. We are looking to do house points, house days, virtually, things like that. So we're looking into those things, and that particular subcommittee will figure out how can we make this work. And it's going to look different than it did when we were, of course, in school. But we certainly don't want to lose the essence of School 23 and everything we're working towards with our house system. Also, you will see very shortly the winner from last year, which I know it got lost in the hustle and the bustle of school closure and emergency closing, but our winning team was Beneficus. So Beneficus has won the House Cup for last year. And we're going to make a big deal out of that again once we have our first Lion's Den, and what that will look like will be to come. But we're very, very excited. We don't want to lose that. So yes, we will continue. So that is the end of the prepared questions. If anybody has other questions, Carla, feel free to read them out.
All right, let me look into the chat. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
All right, a few are just some comments. One parent, Miss Morelli said, I love the idea, a gym log that would give us a nice screen time break. And then Miss McKenna says, as parents of elementary students, are we required to use Power School?
You mean for like the parent portal and things of that nature?
I'm not sure. Miss McKenna, can you open your mic and
Oh, she
clarify
said
for
yes.
us?
She said yes. I will tell you,
Okay.
this is the only portal the district's offering at this point. We upgraded our system across the district to Blackboard Connect, which connects perfectly with Power School. Everything's kind of combined with Power School now. So it's a one-stop shop for a lot of things that are going on. So that would be the parent portal to access.
Excellent. Just a shout out to PTA, you rock.
Woo-hoo!
And then another
Woo!
comment, maybe PTA and or school could organize a talent show or something fun that could bring kids together across grades. That's
I
from Miss
love
Penny.
it. That's a great idea. And actually our building relationships group, and again, the community social excellence team, they're going to be working on those. So I'm going to make sure I mention that to them, as that would be a great opportunity, more things to kind of engage our kids in different ways.
Okay. Another parent, Miss Sirocco. My son's class has 20 kids and 2 teachers. I did ask them about this, meaning the groups, and they have said they will break out into groups next week.
Yes, that's a great, okay, thank you for bringing that up. So the district did not, usually at the beginning of every school year, about 2 weeks or so in, when we're in school, we begin our initial assessments of students, right? We left off in March with our students, and we know that there may have been some learning loss for some of our babies, or others may have accelerated. We need to know where our students are so we can start doing the small group instruction. So the district opted to wait until this point, about 3-4 weeks in, before we started assessing, to just give kids and teachers and families time to get used to online learning, rituals and routines. But yes, our assessments are starting now. And that's very important that the kids are online for that, because a lot of them require kids to read aloud to the teacher. They're looking at sounds that the kids are making with their mouths, things like that. So that's going to be huge. Over the next 2 to 3 weeks, we'll be wrapping up all assessments. And then once we get that, we'll be able to group our students into small groups with like needs, and also heterogeneous kids, a variety of needs, because we know sometimes it's really helpful to have kids of a variety of levels working together. It pushes everyone to lift. So yes, that is coming.
Just to add to that, our support staff has been pushing into classes to support as well, and they'll continue to do that.
Thank you.
And here's another comment. Someone said, I know for my son, he's craving more attention and recognition from the teachers.
Mm-hmm.
And that will definitely suffice that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I will certainly mention that to our teachers. Again, as they're trying to work this all out and whatnot, I certainly they're trying to get into a rhythm, but I will mention it so it's at the forefront of their mind, you know, as much as possible, highlighting the wonderful things the kids are doing whenever the opportunity arises. Absolutely.
Right. Excellent. And Kano and Ronan, Pursuti seems to think that Kwamanika will win this year.
No, Heshima. Heshima. It's gonna be Heshima. My team has not won.
I thought it was Beneficus again, as they did last year.
And they were this close with Kwamanika. I think it was like 2 points separated them. So, it was so close.
Right.
It was so close.
It was.
Absolutely.
Yes.
But yes, it'll be interesting to see who wins this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Absolutely. And another question is, how does School 23 RCSD daily Zoom schedule? How does the School 23 RCSD daily Zoom schedule, which requires both synchronous and most asynchronous learning to be online compared with American Academy of Pediatrics recommendations for screening time using elementary school age children?
I can certainly forward that question to the district, as they're the ones who use their own guidance documents to create the guidelines. So I can certainly do that. And then if I get a response, I will share that right away.
Excellent. And the next question is, are any classes doing recorded lessons that students can watch later in the day so they can get breaks during the day and watch a video for content later to allow some flexibility and again, a break?
So some teachers are choosing to do that. We cannot require them to do that per privacy laws, especially because we're still waiting for opt-out forms for photography and video, because in the Zoom sessions, the kids are around the edges, and when they talk, there's different things that are happening. And so some teachers, I think one or two, have done that. But for the most part, we're still waiting on that before we do that. We encourage it. That would be wonderful, but teachers are not required to record.
Awesome. And I have a shout out from Estes that says, go Hashima.
Yes, Hashima Estes, it's going to be our year. I'm telling you, man, it's happening. I feel.
But Miss Patricia wanted to deflate her balloon and say, baby girl, we are going to win for 3 years, meaning beneficus. So give that shout out to her, please.
Yes, yes.
And that should conclude all of our comments in the chat or any questions to follow up on.
Wonderful. Well, do any of the PTA officers want to say anything before we go?
No, thank you. I thought this was a great session, and thank you so much for leading on it, Principal Yarlett.
You are welcome. And I did record this session. It will be posted on our school website right in that upper part where we have all the updates. It'll be the first, it'll take the place of where it says click here to join the Zoom session. It'll now be the recording so that you can review this at any time and forward it to any other parents that were unable to make the meeting.
Katie, would you mind if you can share your screen to show the PTA tab on the school website?
Great idea.
Just to kind of promote PTA in terms of, registering and Member Hub, and we do keep that pretty updated. So it would be kind of a good tool to point out.
Absolutely. So when you navigate through the page, you'll see right here, PTA and PTA information. If you click on this link, Erin, do you want to speak to it, or do you want me to just kind of take them through?
Yeah, just take them through.
Okay, so right here you can see, of course, this is the email address for PTA, which you can access at any time. Here are our officers, so our co-presidents, Chris Bowers and Elizabeth Croney, Vice President Erin McKenna, who is just speaking. Our new treasurer is Kilolo Moyo White, and our secretary is Adrian Martin. They do a lot of wonderful things for our school. We have a very, very active PTA. Membership information you can find right on the left. So this is, again, the email. You can join the PTA for just $6. You just click here and you get, or you can print the membership postcard, which we do have attached below, and just pay by cash or check. So here's, again, the Member Hub store. So we hope you can. Here is, again, those things. Over on the left, we also have fundraising. Now that's going to look a little different this year, but we always have the Amazon Smile account. So we're listed as a charity right now with Amazon Smile. So if you connect with this through your Amazon app, you can actually select our school, and we get 5% or 0.5% of any purchase you make comes to our PTA. If you're on Amazon as much as I am, you'll know I've probably funded quite a bit to the PTA over these school closure months. Don't tell my husband. Box tops, always, the more box tops we get, the better. Niagara chocolates. There's a lot of wonderful fundraisers, a readathon. There are a lot of wonderful things that you can contribute to. Events, this is when they will be posting any events that are coming up for parents. So certainly check this out as often as possible. And then here are some important PTA documents. So again, the minutes from all of the meetings are listed here. So you have the agenda and the minutes. So unfortunately, we were unable to hold our final meeting last year because of the school closure. So those will be beginning this year. Erin, do you want me to add anything else?
No, I think that's great. And I really liked your idea for kind of the newsletter.
Yeah.
So
And
just
we can post
encourage,
that here as well, if you'd like, on the PTA site, if that's.
yeah, like we could have like a PTA corner or something.
Love it. Love it. Great. And again, any suggestions you all have about things you'd want to see in a monthly newsletter, things you want us to communicate, please email the PTA at their website and or at their email right here, and we will take that into account as we start to develop it. Is that it? All right. Well,
I have one more shout out, and this is from Michelle Dormitzer. And she says, thank you for everything you are doing. This is hard work, and the teachers are doing a fantastic job adjusting to this new way of teaching. Please know that you are appreciated. And we got an agreed, and I think an amen is coming next.
well, thank you all. I will certainly make sure our teachers hear that and our staff. Thank you. We're all in this together. There is no perfect to this at all. And we're making mistakes and learning from them. And we're also seeing great successes. So thank you for your continued support and your patience, unending patience you have with us as we're working through it. So we look forward to the next meeting and have a wonderful evening. Thank you all.
Thank you, Katie.
Thank you, Katie.
Welcome.
Thanks, Carla.
Thank you so much.
Kate.
Thank you.
I just want to say hi to my babies. Oh my goodness. Miss Rashuti, please tell the boys I said hi. My kids.
You want to say bye?
Oh, Anna, Mr. Bleak told my kids, I see them. Let me see my kids. Oh,
Say bye. Say hi, Miss Patricia.
hi,
We're in the car. We're driving to go pick up Zoe.
Look at their face. Oh, look at their face. Oh,
Wanna say
you're
hi?
so handsome. Oh,
Oh,
thank you
Say
guys.
hi.
Because I can't see them, so this
Good
means a lot to
night.
me. Thank you guys.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
bye,
Bye,
everyone.
guys.
Bye-bye.
Good night.